Welcome back to another episode of War in Cali. Douglas Stepney, also known as Boobie, was born and raised in San Francisco's Hunter Point district. He was born in 1971. He would grow up in a community known as Harbor Road, which is a housing project, one of several in Hunters Point and San Francisco as a whole. Boobie had the typical life most kids had in the projects, living in poverty-ridden communities and not coming from a silver spoon. He was just learning to survive daily, and that entails a lot of hardships. Most of the older guys in his neighborhood were deep in the streets, and by the 80s, his whole community was affected by the new drug wiping out America, and we all know that as crack. Crack played a major role in the severe demise of the black communities in America, from many families being shattered with the addiction, and many young individuals becoming dealers and being killed as well, and also going to jail for just involving themselves in that dangerous lifestyle. And with seeing this type of life on a daily in every community in Hunters Point, it was easy for Boobie to dive in the streets. He was already selling weed by the age of 14, which led to his first drug arrest, but it wouldn't be his last. Over the years of selling weed, crack became so powerful that's where all the money was. So Boobie graduated from selling weed to crack, which made him jump deeper into the game. Selling crack came with more money, but also more violence and negative attention from cops and other individuals. After several years in the streets, and also being shot in '92, and a jail stint in that same year, Boobie wanted to do things legitly. He always had a passion for making music and wanted to be a rapper in his younger years. So in the year '92, he was grown and had the funds to create his own record label. The label initially was called Be Real Records, but with that label already existing, with having a label with that same name somewhere else in the world, he decided to change the record label to Big Block Records, and that name began to be affiliated with Harbor Road. At this time, major rappers coming from Hunters Point were the RBL Posse, who were already gaining a buzz in the Bay, and the group featured members like Black C, Mr. C, and Hitman. Boobie grew up with RBL Posse since kids. Boobie was even on the cover of RBL's Posse album, A Lesson to Be Learned. Growing up together, RBL Posse and Boobie was pushing the same thing growing up together, even through wars in the streets and beef with other various hoods, like Sunnydale and the whole Fillmore, which Black C of the RBL Posse would lose an eye in the war. The RBL Posse would even show Boobie some tips in the music industry to get his label off the ground. With the success of their first album in '92, the RBL Posse released a second album called Ruthless by Law, which was also another independent album success, which led to them getting signed by a major record label, being Atlantic Records. Before they ever could deliver an album, Mr. C was shot 9 times and killed near his home on Harbor Road on New Year's Day 1996. The murder set off a wave of retaliation killings in this section of the city. While all this going on, the once unity of Hunters Point, it was all gone, and many close friends and projects became rivals, and the RBL Posse remaining members Black C and Hitman began to have issues with Boobie, which both sides agree were over jealousy, but they both disagree on several details. Boobie alleges that the group began to act fake and disrespect him and their community, which RBL denied, stating Boobie became jealous of their success, and this turned once friends to rivals.
Okay. Well, according to Boobie, after that first album came out, that's when things started to kind of, split with you guys.
I wouldn't say it was even there, man. It was like stuff that's been going on. So there's a lot of stuff he didn't touch on, like this. Even like the relationship with me and him kind of started souring since we was younger, man. It was like he was always a little bit I'd say kind of envious and jealous of me and his relationship. You know what I mean? Because he really related to him. That's his blood cousin. Yeah. And we was considered play cousins or whatever, you know what I mean? But we grew up thinking we was real cousins. Just kind of certain things that's happened throughout the years that I wouldn't say the album. It was things that when the album dropped, everybody was a part of it. Everybody had RBL jackets and was a part of it. Yeah. But there's certain little things that were just taking place that we just wasn't cool with. You know what I mean? Dudes doing a lot of double crossing stuff. You know what I mean?
The first album comes out in 1992, A Lesson to Be Learned. And Don't Give Me No Bam or Weed, that was the hit song from that album. And that was kind of a Bay Area anthem. I remember when that came out.
Exactly.
And as an independent album, it actually did pretty well. It was number 60 on the R&B and hip hop charts.
Yeah.
It started to buzz.
Definitely.
But then I guess after that, there was some friction that started between you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it friction. I just call it more than hate. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody that know me know I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it is what it is. Was what it was,
Well, I guess there's a San Francisco Chronicle article in 2001 where you said they got some money and said they didn't want us around. They showed a lot of disrespect to me and my family.
No, I ain't never said nothing like that.
Oh, that wasn't you?
No, that wasn't me.
Well, I mean, that quote is attested to you. The way it's laid out in the papers was that, a bunch of people associated, who were cool with you, Big Block, chose one side, and then the RBL guys were on the West Side mob side. And then that created a friction in Hunters Point.
That ain't even Harbor Road, though, that side they was on. That ain't where we grew up at.
Okay. So, I mean, is that accurate or not really?
I mean, impartial. It's kind of accurate, you know what I'm saying? Because, I guess, the dudes go run with anybody that had a bad taste for us, you know what I'm saying? So if you were somewhere in the city and you didn't like us or, you know what I'm saying, I guess, that's where you could find them.
By the year 2000, shooting was non-stop between Harbor Road projects, known as Big Block, and another project known as West Point. For example, at a party, 8 people were shot, and within hours, another man was shot, and this was alleged to be from both projects having a beef. The beef between Hunter Point gangs, like Big Block and West Point, has terrorized residents, and by 2001, Hunters Point District claimed 16 of the 61 homicides in the city that year, at least twice as many as any other district. Police would allege that Boobie was behind a lot of this, blaming him for orchestrating murders and shootings against West Point, and also running a drug organization using music as a front. Police put wiretappers on Boobie and anyone allegedly involved with him for 5 years. By 2001, this would lead to a raid of the people from Harbor Road and several people from Hunters Point community in general. This brought down a lot of people, including Boobie. From police documents, defendants are charged with participating in a criminal enterprise of a street gang in the Hunters Point area of San Francisco. In a series of 3 indictments, the government has charged a total of nearly 30 defendants with over 70 substantial counts related to the operation of a gang over a period of several years. Defense counsels reported that they had already had over 20,000 pages of police reports, FBI memos, and other law enforcement materials. Over 8 individuals would begin to cooperate against Boobie, and he was charged with 27 felonies. An affidavit accused Boobie of obtaining and distributing 4 kilos of cocaine, which authorities say was processed into crack. Of several of his felonies, one came from an August 19, 2001 shooting on West Point. The shooting happened on West Point Road, in which a member from that gang being West Mob, several members were shot. One defendant allegedly said after the attack that the West Point gang got shot up. An AK-47 was said to be used in the shooting, and during several raids, several AKs were found. While Boobie was in jail, Hitman from the group RBL Posse was murdered in 2003. On February 3rd, 2003, Hitman was shot in the head while driving at the intersection of Whitney Young Circle and Hudson Avenue in San Francisco's Hunter Point neighborhood. He died in the hospital. This left Black C being the only living member of the group. Boobie sat 5 years in jail and was sentenced on March 27, 2006. He received 23 years in prison for his involvement in a drug conspiracy, a drive-by shooting, and firearms conspiracy. Boobie wouldn't be released until 2020 after doing 19 years in prison. Even after being released, Black C and Boobie, after 20 years of beef, are still not on good terms.
When you look at RBL Posse, Mr. C got killed, Hitman got killed, but Black C is still alive.
Yeah.
Have you made any contact with him at all?
For what?
I mean, I don't know, maybe to squash certain issues you may have had, or
I the one just did 19 years.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The wars that started in Boobie's era of Hunters Point still go on today. And with wars going on 20 plus years and being so bloody, that's something that will probably never end. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, Check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, hype, comment, and subscribe.